is 100% sold. Call to reserve your unit in Phase 2 today.
New Blue Band Mayonnaise. Made from natural ingredients with omega-3 and 6 to enjoy long-lasting freshness and natural taste unlike any other mayo. Grow healthy and happy kids with New Blue Band Mayonnaise.
Protect yourself against coronavirus by using Amara antibacterial hand sanitizer that will effectively clean your hands and eliminate disease-causing virus while you're on the go.
Working from home? No problem. Fiber Home has you covered with the fastest and most reliable internet speeds. Get connected today. Kazi lazima iendelee.
This is NTV.
Good afternoon and many thanks for joining us. Trusting your Sunday is coming along well despite what is going on around the country and also around the world. This is NTV One. My name is Dennis Okari and we start off with the very latest. The Cabinet Secretary for Health, Mutahi Kagwe, will in an hour's time hold a crisis meeting with the National Emergency Response Committee on coronavirus at the Office of the President. This comes amid confirmed reports of more confirmed COVID-19 cases in Kwale County as the government continues to enforce containment measures. So far, Kenya is yet to report any new cases of the disease, with the official number still standing at 7. Seth Olale now joins us. Seth, do we know what to expect from that meeting?
Well, thank you so much, Dennis Okari. Indeed, the CS for Health, Mutahi Kagwe, did say that he's going to give a comprehensive report after an emergency meeting with the National Emergency Response Committee. That particular meeting will happen at the Office of the President. But even to get more information in regards to this particular update expected later on in the afternoon, let's now listen in to the CS for Health, Mutahi Kagwe.
I will not be speaking on other matters related to the issues that are facing us, the disease. I will have a meeting today, an emergency meeting today at 2:30, and after the emergency meeting, I will be speaking to the press to tell them the developments and what other measures we are going to take if the committee so decides.
The Minister for Health. But even more interesting is Kenyans are waiting rather to hear what will come out from this particular meeting expected to kick off at exactly 2:30 p.m. Remember that the President was supposed to update the country in regards to matters COVID-19 yesterday at State House. That has been postponed until Monday. And remember also that on Saturday, that was also yesterday, when the Ministry of Health was required also to just give an update in regards to the day-to-day happenings in relation to the prevention of the coronavirus. That did not happen as well, and so this day will be the big day maybe for Kenyans in terms of an update on the COVID-19 48 hours later. Even more interesting is that there have been reports going around on social media of maybe unreported cases in Kwale County. But also remember that CS Mutahi Kagwe did indicate 48 hours ago that there has been a patient rather who was detained in Kilifi, and this is after he refused, or rather the person refused to self-quarantine, forcing authorities to detain him and take him all the way to Mbagathi Hospital from Kilifi County. It is also worth noting that the government did announce during the last update at the Ministry of Health offices in Nairobi that 3 more patients have been tested, and the government is waiting for the test results. So these are some of the issues that Kenyans are going to hope, or rather hoping that the Minister for Health, Mutahi Kagwe, is going to address. But his fingers crossed as Kenyans wait for this particular meeting to end. The minister there said that it is not just an ordinary meeting, it is an emergency meeting, and we are going to keep tabs and be on standby even as to what will come out from that particular emergency meeting that is supposed to take place from the office of the President, Dennis.
Well, very many thanks, Seth Olale. We're looking forward to hear what the Cabinet Secretary will be telling the country in that press conference. Let's also look at another story here where the country, has taken a raft of measures to control the spread of COVID-19 in what is clearly a partial lockdown. A number of sweeping restrictions has forced many to stay away from Nairobi's CBD. We are now joined by Mel Miendo from Uhuru Park. Mel, many times on Sundays especially, you will find a lot of children, parents, after Sunday services at the park enjoying themselves, rowing the boats, eating ice cream and just relaxing. What's the situation like from Uhuru Park?
Dennis, you mentioned that it may just be a partial lockdown, but really it may not be that, because right now we're in Uhuru Park, and of course, yes, as you've mentioned, there are usually many people, especially on Sundays when people come in with their families, but there's still a stream of people, as you can see. It's not as much. Of course, we usually see a lot of numbers here at the Uhuru Park, but we've seen some people coming in with their families, some of them coming in by themselves to just come and enjoy the Sunday afternoon. So even as you can see, of course, the places of entertainment, especially the swings for the children, are very empty, as you can see. And also the boat riding is actually not even there today. I've not even seen one person going for the boat ride. So maybe with that, we may say that there are very few people. But we saw a number of guys who had come in a bit earlier, because we've been here for, say, 2-3 hours. So some of them came in a bit earlier, and they just came for a few minutes and then they left. So really Uhuru Park is, not much of activity as is expected. If it was indeed a partial lockdown, we probably would not even have seen anyone here. But also, Dennis, some of the things that we have seen in terms of measures that we have been told by the government in public places, we've really not seen that here in Uhuru Park. In terms of sanitizers, there's no sanitizer here that has been placed anywhere, really, or even a place where you can wash your hands, soap and water. Nothing really, because we've gone around this area and we've not seen that. So that's alarming, we could say, especially in this time where the government is asking that everyone must take these necessary precautionary measures. But people are coming in with their children. Perhaps they have their own hand sanitizers in their bags, or a place where they'd probably go wash their hands. But here in Uhuru Park, there's really not that measure that we've seen being taken. And so we're just trying to see, perhaps we'll go around and see what's happening in Nairobi. In town, there are a number of people coming in. Public transport is still ongoing. Guys are going in and out of the supermarket. So we saw that a little earlier on in the day. So we'll probably go around again and just check, especially places where there are many people on Sundays, because, Sundays people like to go out and enjoy themselves. So we'll probably get to see if that's happening or not. But with Uhuru Park, Dennis, I think, well, Kenyans, sometimes we take a lot of time to actually understand that this is probably really serious. And so in terms of if it's a partial lockdown that may be spoken about later by Health CS Mutahi Kagwe when they have that press conference later on in the day, maybe we'll get to see more measures being taken by Kenyans. Remember, even across Africa, Rwanda already has a lockdown which happened at midnight, Saturday midnight. And so apparently even there, guys are not moving out and about as was the case before, unless it's, places like supermarkets or going into the banks to get your money. But it's actually really controlled there. But here in Kenya, it's a bit different. Maybe with time, it'll change.
Well, very many thanks, Mel, as you go around the CBD. Just make sure you are safe as well. But Kenyans with their peculiar habits, we take time to learn some of these things. We're also receiving reports that there are some churches that were conducting their services and going on with business as usual. Many shopping centers are full of people who are trying to stock what they have in their homes. We'll definitely be bringing you some of these reports in our subsequent bulletins at 7 and at 9. But are you just right across our border, Uganda has also announced its first case of COVID-19 after a 36-year-old Ugandan male jetted into the country from Dubai on Saturday night. Confirming the incident was the Health Minister, Jane Ruth, who assured the general public that all measures were undertaken to identify this case at the airport and isolate him in a timely manner. The minister said they had retrieved the passenger manifest and were in possession of the passports of the passengers that were on board with the patient. To date, the country has quarantined 1,827 travelers, including Ugandans and other nationals who traveled back into the country and were from high-risk countries.
Uganda has confirmed her first case of coronavirus disease, COVID-19. The confirmed case is a 36-year-old Ugandan male who arrived from Dubai today morning, Saturday 21st March, at 2 a.m. aboard Ethiopian Airlines. The Ministry of Health reassures the general public that all measures were undertaken to identify this case at the airport and isolate him in a timely manner.
We also are meant to understand that Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni is going to be addressing the country on the measures they will take following that one case that has just been reported. But as cases of the coronavirus rise globally, and with 7 cases reported in the country so far, a section of Kenyans have rushed to stock goods like hand sanitizers, canned foods and toilet paper to cushion themselves against a crisis. In the event the government orders a lockdown, Zainab Ismail sought to find out how some families in Nairobi are preparing for such a scenario.
In the wake of the uncertainty surrounding the spread of the coronavirus in the country, Kenyans have begun preparing themselves in the event that the government calls for restrictive measures, especially on people's movements, by stocking up on food and other household essentials. Long queues outside these cereals shops along Jogoo Road in Nairobi, indicative of the fear Kenyans have on what the near future holds following the impact the virus has already brought in their lives.
Before, we never had queues throughout the day, and people are buying in bulk. From 5 kgs onwards, people are just stocking food. That was from Saturday till today.
Families, especially in Nairobi, are not taking any chances. For Nilma Khan and her family of 7, there is enough food in their store to sustain them for at least 2 months, she tells us.
Going on how the virus is spreading, you never know what may come next, yeah. So we decided to just take a step ahead and stock up. We actually have like 4 kids, yeah. So the stock can't last that long, yeah, but we've just stocked up enough for the meantime, just to see how things are headed.
A number of countries affected by COVID-19 have already implemented nationwide lockdowns, among them Italy, France and Spain. And it is expected that more businesses might be shut in the coming days and weeks as the country records more cases, and which might force the government to announce even more drastic measures.
God forbid if it goes into a lockdown, then what will happen to us? What will happen to the ones who can't afford to all stock up? Has the government also considered what measures they'll put in case there's a lockdown?
It is, however, important to stock up on some essential things, but not hoarding unnecessary items which can deplete the supply for everyone else, experts say. But if the potentially deadly illness lands you in quarantine, it is well advised to have a sensible supply of food, water and other essentials. Zainab Ismail, NTV.
While the immensity of the coronavirus can leave you feeling helpless, you are not. The power to protect yourself is quite literally and figuratively in your hands. NTV's Olive Barrows shows us how.
Keep calm and don't panic. Here's what else you can do to limit your exposure.
First, wash your hands properly. This means washing your hands after blowing your nose, coughing or sneezing, using public transportation or visiting markets or places of worship, touching surfaces outside the home before and after eating, not to mention the other usual times such as when you use the toilet, handle garbage or pets. Now, washing your hands properly means using soap and water, and for a minimum of 20 seconds or the amount of time it'll take you to sing Happy Birthday to You 2 times. The entire song, that is. First, wet your hands with water, then apply enough soap to cover all hand surfaces. Then rub your hands palm to palm. Then with your palm over the back of your hand, interlace your fingers, then clean in between your fingers palm to palm. Interlock your fingers to wash the back of your fingers, then rotationally rub your thumbs. Finally, rub your fingertips rotationally in your palm. Then rinse and dry your hands thoroughly, not with an air dryer, but with a clean towel or tissue. And be sure not to use your clean hands to turn off the faucet or touch the bathroom door. Now, second, do not touch your face, as by touching your ears, nose, and mouth, you transfer the germs from your hands. Now, women are therefore advised to wear less makeup, for example. Contact lens wearers are advised to wear glasses instead. And if all else fails, cross your fingers. And it's not just your hands you should be careful about pressing against your face. Which brings us to the next do. Do clean your phone. Phones having been found to carry more germs than a toilet seat. And just like your hands, all you need is soap and water. But first, turn off your phone and remove the case. Dampen a soft cloth with soap and water, then wipe down the phone, but be careful not to get moisture in any of the openings. Finally, dry it out with a clean, soft cloth. Now, this next one has to do with something you do every day: sneezing and coughing. Do cough into a tissue, not a handkerchief, which you could reuse, then dispose of it responsibly. Or if you don't have time to reach for a tissue, use the crook of your arm so that you don't spread the virus using your hands. Next, do keep your distance, which means avoid shaking hands, hugging, kisses, or even dabbing. It also means avoiding crowded places. If you do exhibit the following symptoms: fever and tiredness, a continuous cough, and breathing difficulties, do seek medical attention. But call first and keep at least 3 steps away from people in your home. And if you've traveled outside the country, self-isolate for at least 14 days. Finally, do not use social media to spread unverified information on the coronavirus. Namaste.
Well, many thanks, Olive. So now you know. The new government measures to contain the spread of coronavirus in the country has destabilized funeral cultures in most communities. Areas from Western Kenya, where communities love to engage in burial rites, are most hit. The latest move by Bungoma County government to ban attendance in funerals saw a burial ceremony in Tongaren constituency only attended by few family members and a limited number of mourners, with majority of seats remaining empty. Besides that, morgue attendants are only allowing a maximum of 5 people to pick up bodies while maintaining the social distance rule.
The county government ingetembea kwa matanga ikipeana enough sanitizers na ipeana hata kama viti ndio hiyo kukaa 1 meter apart iwezekani.
Hali ya corona ambayo imezuka katika ulimwengu huu imeleta madhara makubwa, hasa sana kwa wapendwa ambao wamepoteza wapendwa wao. Kuja hapa katika mochwari tutaka kuwachukua ni hali ngumu ambayo wanapitia.
Hao watu ma clients zetu wanasimama nje huko. Then 1 meter away from gate. Then wawili wanaingia, wanakilia kila kitu. Kisha tuna release watatu wanakuja wanachukua mwili yao.
The number of worshippers has reduced in some churches in Embu County as a number of them closed down. Those who attended today's service were required to follow the 1 meter rule distance. At Our Lady of Assumption Catholic Church in Embu Town, there were messages on screens instructing church members to ensure only 3 people sat on each bench. The church members had to wash their hands with soap and water before they were allowed in the church. Some churches like St. Paul's ACK were closed.
Pia tumeweza kuweka misa 2 kwa sababu ya kuweka ile upana wa mita 1 kila Mkristo, na kwa hivyo tumeweza kuwa na misa 1 hapa kanisani na misa ingine mahali kwa hall.
Kwa sababu hata maandiko yanatuambia ni vizuri kutii ambao kwa uongozi. Na sio tu tunaona tukisikia vile hii habari inaendelea kwa mahali pengine kama Italy hivyo, tunaona ni mzuri we take those measures because they are very much important.
Naomba Wakristo wenzangu mkuje tuungane, tuombe, tufukuze hii kitu, msiogope, Mungu yuko.
Kwenda kanisa tuwezi kusudiwa, hatuvai kusudiwa. Ndio tukienda kwa kanisa ndio tunavunga, tunaomba mara mingi kwa kanisa na Mungu anatusikia. Ndio hata kama hao ni wagonjwa wenye tuko na wao Mungu anawahurumia na mambo yote inakuwa sawa.
Well, everyone trying to take measures to minimize contact and the spread of this virus. It's important to have faith in God, but also use wisdom. We take a short break. I'll be back with more stories.
New Blue Band peanut butter. Made with 100% pure peanuts. And a good source of omega-6. Grow healthy and happy kids with New Blue Band peanut butter.
Molfix breathable surface developed with Airsoft technology is very soft and provides the best Molfix skincare.
I found the best diaper for my baby's sensitive skin.
All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. Panadol Extra, now with new Optizorb technology to fight multiple tough pains with 3 times more pain-relieving medicine in the first 30 minutes when you need it most. Seeing them support themselves makes any pain worth it. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Feel good, Coca-Cola and food, Monday to Sunday. We are chasing taste. Let's just grab a bite and enjoy, drink a Coca-Cola every single day. So we feel forever be real, together stay free wherever and no, we can't stop. We wanna taste the feeling. Nothing can ever bring us down. Taste the feeling.
Welcome back. The Kenya Red Cross Society is urging Kenyans to adhere to government directives in a bid to contain the coronavirus pandemic. Speaking alongside Kibra MP Imran Okoth, Kenya Red Cross Secretary General Dr. Asha Mohammed said that the Red Cross had stepped up sensitization activities across the country so as to reach everyone with these messages. The public was also encouraged to practice good hand washing practices, which is one of the most effective ways to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. Area MP Imran urged the Kibra Sub-County Deputy County Commissioner, who was also present, to enforce the directive of the government on the number of passengers in public transport vehicles. The leaders spoke during a tour of Kibra where they were sensitizing the public on the disease.
Wiki mbili ambazo zinakuja zitakuwa muhimu sana. Kwa maana ukifuatilia China, Italy na mengine utakuta kuwa hapo ndio sasa kuna mabadiliko itaanza kuwa. Na ni vizuri sana kuwa tuhakikishe tumehamasisha jamii kuhakikisha tufiki hapo.
Na si mchezo ama mzaha. Nataka tuelewane hapo. Hii mgonjwa upo. Niliona inasikitisha kwamba unapata ujumbe ambao uko pale nje, si ambao inatakikana ikuwe pale nje. Hii ugonjwa imeathiri China, imeathiri Amerika, imeathiri Italy, nchi mingi. Mbona si Kenya?
Matatu sector stakeholders in Isiolo County have decried the adverse impact on business occasioned by government measures to contain the spread of COVID-19. The chairman of the Matatu Owners Association, Northern Kenya, Mohammed Ahmed, says they will have no option but to increase fares in order to prevent them from incurring losses. Ahmed has asked the Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe to consider asking passengers to come equipped with their own hand sanitizers. They would also like to see a reduction in insurance premiums this season.
Tungependa kuomba serikali hii maneno inahusiana na coronavirus isiwe ni lawama inawekwa juu ya matatu yote. Hii shida inahusu Wakenya wote kwa jumla. Kwa hivyo kitu tungeomba serikali waweze kuona ya kwamba mambo ya usafi ni jukumu ya Mkenya wote, na kama ni mambo ya sanitizers, kila Mkenya awe na sanitizer yake kwa mfuko. Si kulazimisha mtu wa matatu anunue sanitizer. Na as you are aware, sanitizer haziko katika market, na zile ziko katika market zinauzwa bei ghali sana.
As several markets in the county have been closed for fear of spread of coronavirus, Nakuru County Government has moved with speed to provide clean water at Molo Main Market to avert its closure. The traders and customers were relieved because they were able to access the service for free. This move follows the continuous lack of water in the market that forced some traders to offer hand-washing services at a fee. The market was installed with piped water with a promise of an additional 10,000 litres tank to ensure a smooth water flow.
Maji sasa iko kwa wingi kila mahali sasa. Kila mtu customer mwenye anaingia huku anakuja ananawa mikono ndio tunamuuzia vitu.
Tulikuwa tunatoka na maji nyumbani tukikuja nazo hapa, na hata kuna vijana walikuwa wanatuletea maji hapa tunanunua. Lakini kwa sasa tumeona tumepata nafuu kwa sababu maji tutakuwa tukipata, hatutatumia hiyo pesa kununua maji tena, hatutachoka kubeba maji kutoka nyumbani.
Well, when fighting breaks out between communities, it leaves a trail of death, destruction, displacement, and untold suffering. But then some profit from the spoils of war. 80-year-old Abdinur Mohammed from the Gare sub-clan of the Somali community made an unprecedented move by returning third-generation camels he stole in 1964 at the age of 24 years. He and his Gare community warriors raided their neighboring Dogodea community, whom they were fighting, and took away several herds of camel. Here is his story.
In the outskirts of Banisa town, Mandera County, this third-generation herd of camels has been brought here in the sweltering heat, not for auctioning, but to return them to their rightful owners after 56 years. In a rare move in the Somali community, Abdinur Idoi, who stole the first-generation camels in 1964, after he and his Gare militiamen raided their neighboring Dogodea community, has today decided to return all the camels he got.
Mwaka hiyo kulikuwa na vita kati yetu na majirani yetu. Wao ndio waliiba ngamia yetu, wametupiga. Baadaye sisi nayo tukaenda na tumepata ngamia.
Abdinur is also handing over all his wealth, since all he had were these camels that were a source of livelihood for his family. In return, he's asking for forgiveness from the family he stole from.
Mimi naona ya kwamba kwa upande Mwenyezi Mungu itakuwa shida, kwa hivyo mimi naomba ile watu wamekuja, jamii wamekuja kuchukua hii ngamia, wanisamehe ile nimetumia.
The father of 8 says his decision to return all his wealth was not an easy one, and sought help from the local sheikhs and the National Cohesion and Integration Commission (NCIC) Mandera branch, who became the mediators between the two communities. His unprecedented move was lauded by peace actors, including NCIC and government agencies, who call others to follow his example.
Na Mungu amesikia atamsamehe. Ningesihi kwamba tuweze kuiga mfano wake.
The delighted owner never expected to get back his camels after many years, and went home a happy man. Ahmed Abdi, NTV, Mandera.
The Tokyo Olympics may be in doubt due to the coronavirus pandemic, but the Kenyan sports people who have qualified are still hopeful of becoming Olympians. One of them is 26-year-old Commonwealth Games bronze medalist boxer Christine Ongare, who has a dream of bagging a medal at the global sporting showpiece.
Nilianza ndondi wakati wa mwaka 2010, hapo ndipo nilianza. First trip yangu ilikuwa 2012, ambayo ilikuwa World Women Champion. Ilikuwa very tricky kwa sababu una imagine nilianza 2010, alafu wanawake kwa ndondi pia ni wachache. Kwa hivyo na ilikuwa exposure yangu ya kwanza. Sikufaulu kuendelea zaidi, nilishindwa kwa bauti ya kwanza. Yalikuwa China, mahali panajiita Qinghuandao. Nilijifunza mengi na nilijua huku nje kuna wanawake wana box. Sisi ni kwa sababu hatuna ile, yani madona hawako wengi, alafu pia wanawake pia ni wachache, ambapo tukitoka nje kupigana ama ushindani na watu wa nje inakuwa ni a very big challenge to us. Kutoka hapo nimekuja nikaendelea 2014, ikakuwa my first Commonwealth. Hapo nilijitahidi, nikaona nimemake tena another step. Kutoka hapo nikaendelea, ikakuja 2017 ambapo tulienda African Champion, ndio nikakuja na bronze. 2018 the next Commonwealth nikakuja tena na bronze.
Former Real Madrid president Lorenzo Sanz has died in Spain from the coronavirus, even as numerous players in Italy continue testing positive for the disease, causing havoc globally. The 76-year-old was Real's president from 1995 to 2000, a period in which Real Madrid won the Champions League twice. During his time, Sanz signed players like Roberto Carlos, Davor Suker and Clarence Seedorf. Sanz lost the 2000 election to the current president, Florentino Perez. And meanwhile, Juventus and Argentina forward Paulo Dybala and his girlfriend both tested positive for the virus, but have posted on Instagram that they were in good health. This as former Italy captain Paolo Maldini and his son Daniel have tested positive for coronavirus. Well, it's exactly 1:30. We will be giving you more updates on what's happening. Remember, there's that press briefing by the health CS, Mutai Kwagwe, that we are all waiting for. Just stay tuned for that as well. 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock news bulletins will be covering much more on this COVID-19 global pandemic. Have a great afternoon. My name is Dennis Okari.
This is NTV. I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Working from home? No problem. Fiber Home has you covered with the fastest and most reliable internet speeds. Get connected today. Kazi lazima iendelee.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. Panadol Extra, now with new Optizorb technology, to fight multiple tough pains with 3 times more pain-relieving medicine in the first 30 minutes when you need it most. Seeing them support themselves makes any pain worth it. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Heaviness and a burning inside, it could be heartburn.
Indigestion and heartburn? Eno gets to work in 6 seconds and works on the 6 symptoms of heartburn so you can keep living life non-stop. Eno, fight heartburn and indigestion fast.
When I would try to comb my hair, I would not be able to lift my hand to get the comb to comb my hair.
Breakdown in the normal communications between the nerves and muscles. What causes that?
It's predominantly caused by your body generating abnormal antibodies against its own tissues, what we call autoimmune conditions.
If I try to crouch, I'm unable to lift myself up.
Factors that can worsen MG, fatigue, illness, stress, pregnancy, menstrual periods. What is the connection?
Things that potentially could affect the receptors for the chemical called acetylcholine.
The stigma is there, first of all, is you're lazy or you're pretending.
Nimekupatia leo tu. Kama hutalipa nafunga nyumba.
Whose car is that parked outside?
Hiyo gari ni yangu.
What do you mean?
If you not have paid rent by the end of the week, at the end of the month, mnahama.
Kesho ukose. Utatambua.
You get out.
Unajua kuna kama fulani na umeanza all of a sudden wewe toka out you go. Wakairo hizi sisi ile siku atilikuwa niambia you are fired na kupiga magoti hapa. Oh, wakairo usinifute.
Kama 10,000 ni mkono.
1200 si nitakunyonga.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
@NickQuatch is my handle in all social media platforms. Of course, I can't do this without the gang. So the gang is here. Eddie Butita. We are also here with Cindy. And also working from home, we have Matatu.
Stop calling us the gang.
Why? Butita kwa nini?
We need a good title. Look at Mato. Mato unatumia wifi ya kanisa.
Mimi yule msee bana. Accept and move on.
Yes, social distancing.
So Mato, there's a serious question we have in the studio. Haungechagua kona ingine poa ya hiyo kanisa?
Hiyo ndio kona poa kwake.
Anyway, the gang is here, so we are ready. How was your week, guys? How was your week? How was your Cindy, hujasema kitu?
I'm good. Happy to be back in studio.
Yeah.
That's where we all started. So
they're asking Bado.
And don't think we didn't hear you say Randing. Nicholas.
Cindy bado mjuni hajakam.
At any time.
Anaji-quarantine. Uko ndani.
Ati ameji-quarantine. But Butita, what is it with you asking the obvious questions? So tukiongea mambo ya quarantine, corona iko hapa na sisi bado, and it looks like it's going to be here for a long time. So you guys, this week, Milimani Law Courts on Tuesday morning held proceedings outside the courtroom. This was decided to be a move aimed at minimizing contact with guidelines on the coronavirus. What a better way of out-of-court settlement. Mato,
nice.
How is it working?
Sorry?
Yeah, how is it working for you? Self-quarantine, ukoaje? Are you being fruitful wherever you are?
As you can see, mi niko nyumbani, nimetulia, kazi ikikuja tunafanya, which goes to ask, why has this never been done before? Producers of the trend mumekuwa mkinisumbua ninakuja huko nimekimbia ndio nifike huko on time. What is this? Ningekuwa nikifanyia kazi nyumbani the whole time.
Hiyo ni mimi peke yangu na kwa gani mko allowed kufanya. Nafanya sana nikienda Amerika wapi. Mimi hufanya through Skype.
So nakwambia sahi umekuwa Amerika.
Hakuna vile unaweza fanyia Skype Roy Sambu.
Lakini Butita
fanyia Amerika.
Butita na si uende basi tuone. Siwende basi sahi tuone. Cindy.
I think it just goes to show the interesting times we're living in. For the first time, we had a law court done at the parking lot. I don't know if you guys had the restrictions that were given at 4 p.m. by the Ministry of Health. So now supermarkets, by the hakuna story ya family day, sisi wote tunaenda kununua packet moja ya maziwa. It is one by one. Social distancing is still there. So it's going to be a very weird period. Yeah. But what I feel like I need to say is I need to tell guys to just not be too anxious, because we're all talking about corona, and I don't know if you're the only one who's getting these weird forwards from all over the place, and it's causing social anxiety.
Kuna kitu walisema, najua pia sitaki kusema hizo za corona, julisikia ukisema information na iko unaenda kuripotia Mbagathi kuna info
Ni serious by the way, ni serious.
Kuna information walikuwa wanasema ya wase wengi wa kwanza kupatikana na wakiwa positive ni wase walikuwa wamefly in from outside.
Yes.
Which means tungekuwa keen sana na hiyo travel vile zilikuwa watu wanaingia kutoka from the beginning. At least tunge reduce chances za kukua kwa hii situation by now.
Cindy.
But I'm wondering what kind of you know, countries have like powers, yeah?
Yeah.
Kwani Ecuador doesn't have powers to the point where planes land by force. They're like, mina come by them, mina land shauri yenu, until they have to park cars for planes not to land. You see, for us, when we gave a directive, planes stopped coming. But in Ecuador, it looks like, you know, guys are really not taking this thing seriously. They're like, shauri yako, mina leta watu, utajiso.
Lakini angejaribu.
There is the video.
Angejaribu kusonga chini.
Yeah.
Hizo gari zingetoka zenyewe.
Haki ya nani?
No one wants to be there when an accident happens.
Yeah.
Kwanza, yeah. Yes, Matu.
Mimi niko hapa hivi team Governor Mutua. Juu ya kitu muhimu sana alisema. Governor Mutua alisema hii corona kuna vile ni mzuri sana. Kwa sababu inakuja kuamsha leadership ya hii nchi.
Yeah.
Watu waamke.
Yeah.
Wajue sasa ukiwa mgonjwa unahitaji wewe kama ni leader wa hii country uhakikishe health systems za the country ziko fiti.
Yeah.
Kwa sababu saa hii hawezi sema ati nitaenda Italy kutibiwa, nitaenda America kutibiwa. Huko kwanza wanaumia zaidi number 1. Alafu number 2 hawataki watu wakikuja.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Watu hawakuti pia huku.
Actually,
so this is a wake up call for all the corrupt systems in Africa.
We have some feedback. You guys are talking to us on Twitter. The hashtag is still TTTT. Kuna mtu hapa anasema, Butita, kwanza wewe umekuwa attacked. There's something you posted on Instagram. They are saying kwani umemaliza. They are also saying that you guys have decided to be colorful today. Do you have any other feedback?
Kuna msee ameuliza hapa. Na sasa wana wa Kenya ati wase wa Bongo watawakaje from home. No, you see.
It's true.
Wase, mnapeleka kitu tufa.
Wajenge nchi from home.
No.
Mato,
guys, we're not.
Wait, Mato, did you change your cloth?
What?
What
are you saying? I can't
we
hear you well.
Are you saying something? Hii show kama unajua utakuwa baya.
Working from home advantages.
You need to have bundles.
No, you need to have good Wi-Fi.
You know, Mato,
wewe tumia Wi-Fi ya bundle ya 30 bob kukuwa live on air.
And you need to live somewhere near Nairobi, not
talked
too
about
close
it
to
pale
you
online.
and
Amesema Mato jirani akizima tu Wi-Fi hivi blackout.
Acheni hizo bwana.
Yes.
I'm self-sufficient bwana.
Tell me. You want me to retweet?
Yeah.
All right. So there's a guy called
while we still try to sort out your audio.
As we sort out
so you know I'm in studio, so I'm not using my bundle.
No, I can hear you.
Yes, Cindy has feedback.
Yeah. So we've got a guy called Sumandola who says, we'll eventually pull through. For those of us parenting, please chanweni watoto pia, don't assume they are young. As long as they can talk to them about the importance of washing hands. Let me tell you guys, this thing is so for real. So I've tried to self-quarantine my children. It's difficult if you have kids.
How are you doing that, Cindy?
It's so hard because we live in a court, so it's a small court in the 10 houses.
Yeah.
Hey.
So everybody feels, you know, they can play with each other, and if you refuse your child to play, then the other kids go and say you don't want them to play with your child because you're saying they have corona.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you know you have to play politics. Yeah. So sadly, me, I won't lie. I kept my kids in the house for 2 days.
Yeah.
Out later on, they had to go play with the other kids. But I was shocked. How many children don't know why they're hand sanitizing?
Yeah.
What causes corona?
Yeah.
Because now they were giving all sorts of, you know, kids are running around at kikushika. Nani amenipatia corona? I think they honestly don't know. So I
sure
like
we have
this tweet.
Cindy, I'm sure we have a whole lot of things to say about the coronavirus. There's the new Tupac in town who has now decided hip hop is going to be his business. He's been jumping jobs one after the other. Yani ametoka tu kazi ingine juzi, he resigned as a deputy governor, got another job immediately. Then he has resigned from that other job with Vivo, now he has gotten another job with Equity that he had resigned from initially. You guys, Ni nyinyi hamna connections ama ni nini?
Is he left handed?
Kwa nini?
Na left sana huyu jamaa.
Nice.
Bato.
Kwach.
Yeah.
Si mama yako alikwambia usome? Ukakataa kusoma. Ukakataa kusoma my friend.
Umesema ningesoma tu kidogo.
Mato. Kwacha aliambiwa kuwe daktari akaona talent nini. Madaktari wanalipwa Friday. Wao wanalipwa lini?
Madaktari sahihi wako kwa paid quarantine.
Daktari bado msijoke bado. Madaktari sahihi ndio wameshikilia hii nchi.
Yes. I saw another post.
Daktari sahihi hatuko kwa madaktari sahihi, tuko kwa Igathe.
Yeah.
Igathe kusema kweli,
yeah.
he's very intelligent.
Yeah.
He is a good corporate leader. I'm not sure about how he was as the deputy governor of Nairobi, but he's a very good corporate leader.
Yeah.
That is why wanamkimbilia. Yani hazi kai hivi tu kazi.
But actually mimi na feel. Actually mimi na feel unajua pia hii kitu inakuwa ni mfuko. Ukiitiwa deal mzuri na services zako zinahitajika huko, hatuwezi mfungia mahali pamoja. Yeye ndiye anajua pale maisha imemweka.
Yeah.
Sio sisi.
Yeah.
Cindy.
Yeah.
I think there's some people in this world,
yeah.
in this country, they will never cost a job. Polycarp, Michael Joseph,
Butita.
Butita. Butita ushaikuwa na kazi.
Tuseme tu. Lazima ulipe mshwari yako by the end.
Yeah.
Because you'll be eating from home for a long time.
And you know
your brand is so huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
To the point where even if you leave a company and you go to work for a competitor and you come back, they still see your value. This should really challenge those who want to get into mainstream profession, because it's more than just punching in the hours, and it's more than just building your CV. It's a brand. Value. It's what you bring to the table. Until if a multinational hears, hey, we are bringing Kwach, we are bringing Mato, we are bringing Butita, they're like, come.
But Cindy,
so I think it's a challenge. Everybody is like, you know, there are other younger, more qualified. Maybe they are not.
Yeah.
Maybe
especially in the corporate, Butita, especially in the corporate world, the top tier corporate world, I think there is not too many to go around. Like there is not too many people that
actually the same guys.
Actually mimi naichukua kama challenge. Challenge ya ukisema unaenda kampuni nyingine. Je, kampuni yako inaweza kuongelesha usiende? Ama ukisema unaenda utazidishwa.
There are people who actually use it as a bluff. You go tell your company that I'm resigning, I've been poached. Alafu kampuni inakwambia tumeshukuru sana.
That is growth. You can go.
Go bro. Flap your wings.
Wezi shtuane hivyo.
I think the credentials za Polycarp zimemfikisha hapo. Wacha aendelee. Good luck.
Matu, you're saying something?
Mimi nasema wa Kenya kuna levels zingine, kuna jobs zingine wezi shtuane hivyo. Butita hizi shtuane hivyo. Butita uwezi. Tambu uende tuone venye utaka atikuacha shtuane hivyo. Ati Cindy ashtuane hivyo. Aje sasa. Na si semi ati Cindy hatujasoma. Cindy tumesoma, si ndio? Cindy tumesoma sana.
Butita, we are aware of your school of life. Mkutano zimekuita
kwa mimi nakuanga nimesoma. Mimi msionange hii comedy nilipenda tu. Kitabu nimekula. I got A in everything except math, English, Kiswahili, biology, chemistry, geography.
Unaniangusha. As somebody like me, you know me, I did mathematics and business before I switched to theater and film. Kwa hivyo kiniambia nianguka hesabu unaniangusha sana.
I was not doing mathematics, it was doing me.
Guys,
hesabu ilikuwa inanifanya.
Mato, people are talking online. They are saying tulianza show tangu tuanze show hatujasikia hata mtu akikuita be, mtu akikuita dadi. Hatujasikia someone talking in the background.
Ni nguo tu unabadilisha.
Kwanza unadhani nani amekuwa akinisaidia ku stage manage kuchange nguo?
Umesema stage.
Nataka kuhakikisha niko nyumbani.
Wapi?
Chome.
Where is stage manager be?
Lakini cheki bro, mbona unachange nguo hivyo sana kwa Keja?
Advantages of working at home bwana. You need to take advantage while you
Unabadilisha
still
za
can.
nje tu ama pia.
And this is to prove. Badala ya naambia hapo producer anajijua hapo hiyo kazi yake ni kunikimbizaga hapa hivi ni kuja. Now this will be my new normal.
Dr. Lamek online is asking, ni nguo tu unabadilisha ama kuna unaoshaosha mkono hapo ukibadilisha hizo nguo?
Are you sanitizing?
Aya. Imeenda hapi karibu nijichomee mimi mwenyewe. Babe, umetoa sanitizer? Babe. Leta sanitizer hapa karibu.
Wacha kuvaa stock. Wacha kuvaa stock.
Gikombe imefungwa.
Matu unasikia? Wacha kuvaa stock.
Ndio hiyo.
Gikombe imefungwa.
Uko sawa.
Na wache kuvaa stock. All right. It's a good thing that you guys are back. We still have more stories to talk about. There was a video that trended online this week. No one knows the date when it was taken, but there was a video of a mama trying to get onto a train, and then she slipped, and then it was very lucky because it was just the last, the last bus of the train. Did you guys see that video first?
Yes, I saw the video. Can I go?
I watched it.
Yeah. For anyone who didn't see the video, here it is.
You see, saa ingine, you see,
Speculations have been going around as to where this could be. Some are saying it's in
I know exactly
Makasi.
where this is.
Very unfortunate.
Yes.
Cindy.
I know exactly where this is. I used the commuter train for like 2 years. And let me tell you, this is pipeline stage.
Yeah.
And the commuter train passes twice in the morning and in the evening. This looks like in the morning when it passes at around 7:30. Now, let me tell you what saved this woman from going under. She held on.
Yeah.
If she had let go, if she fell and she slid and she had let go and continued rolling, she would have gone under the tracks and it would have been a totally different story. So as I mentioned before, I used to use the train for 2 years. It is super jam-packed, but sadly it's the only way that most people find convenient and affordable to move from town to railways because ni 40 bob. And you get to town in 40 or less minutes. Compared with a matatu, unalipishwa 100 and you get to town in 1.5 hours. Now, I'll be very interested to know because, again, with this whole corona situation, you guys heard that even commuter trains, guys are not supposed to overcrowd. I'm going to be very interested to know how they're going to manage that because for some, they jam-pack the train because it only comes once and that's all they can afford. Hiyo 40 bob, mtu enda taona 100 akijua ni 40 kwenda 40 kurudi. Sasa watu wanaambiwa kwa train lazima mukae 1.5 meters apart. I don't know how that's going to work.
I really wanted to ask, as you go on, Butita, I wanted to ask, where is the balance between now convenience, as Cindy is saying, and safety?
Yes.
Well, you see, the thing is, and let's be honest, majority of Kenyans are inconvenienced. It's got nothing to do with convenience. It's about moving from point one to point B. If you have been in a situation where bus fare is to the bare minimum, if you don't get this train, if you don't get this mat, you walk home, then you don't care about convenience. You just want to move to work so that you can get to town and make money.
Butita.
Guys who squeeze on the train, it's not because they don't love their lives. They don't have a choice. So this is a wake-up call to the Kenya railway system. If they can increase the number of times the train passes, because inapitanga tu mara moja asubuhi na jioni. If it can pass 2-3 times like everywhere else in the world, even across the day, then we would have fewer traffic and less of this matatu madness that's going on.
Butita, real quick.
First kwanza, sorry to say this, but first of all, it is personal responsibility kwanza. However convenient it is, unafaa ujiangalie kwanza. Kama kuna stage, chukulia train kwa hiyo stage. Kama si place ya stage, train ina move, it is very risky. Risky sana. Yani, just call it a day. Hii imeniwacha, imeenda.
You better face the expense alive.
Because mimi kwa na policy moja sana. Before could think kama kitu ni cheap ama ni convenient sana, mi ujifikiria kwanza. Mi niko safe kwanza, unaona? Ni ile principle same tu ya unaenda kukula food ya 20 bob usave alafu unaenda kutumia so tatu.
Poisoning.
Kwa usi unaona.
Matu.
So as much as it's as much as system iko na shida hakuna frequency but it is personal responsibility bado.
Yes Matu.
Nakubaliana na Butita. By the personal responsibility is number one. You need to take care of yourself. That is why even with the pandemic going on in the country, you're told you need to take care of yourself. Wacha watu waite paranoia. Wacha watu waite venye wataiita. Wewe take care of yourself and then take care of the people that you care about. Mdem, she's very lucky to be alive right now or to have all functioning limbs kwa sababu hiyo kitu ingemsiaga kumsiaga ile proper. Na by the way, haingekuwa ati serikali ndio ilifanya aanguke, hapana. It was her. Train inafika saa fulani, inatoka saa fulani. Kuwa ready, train ikitoka hata wewe unatoka nayo. Usikue hiyo kukimbia na kuhanga. Mara mwisho nidandie kitu karibu nianguke ni Garissa na nilisema sitawahi tena. Hey.
So I think the message is home. You're of no use, including to yourself when you're alive, when you're not alive. So I burnt these churches because of anger arising from the fact that these churches preach about prosperity, but I have remained poor all throughout. These are the words of one pastor, Mr. John Regan Ngobi, a resident of Koso village in Uganda. So Butita,
Koso village.
Unajua
makanisa ni nini hawajatuonyesha?
Ili iwe funzo kwa watu fulani. Manake this is how I see stakaki kuingilia religion sana but mimi naangalianga preach word.
Tuko wengi Butita. Kuingilia religion
inakuwa na shida sana, kuna wana mixed reaction but mimi naangalia hivi preach word. Guide wase according to the word. Wacha kupromise wase vitu zingine extraordinary. Usianze kuambia msee ni aje sasa wewe ukikama hapa church in 1 month utaget nini. Don't rule out the element of work.
Can I interject a bit?
We only have a minute, Cindy.
Yes, we only have a minute. This is where I want to thread back at Butita, personal responsibility. Some people go to church and believe that the pastor is God. You have a personal responsibility to read the Bible and know what is true and what is not. If you're called shauri yako, banning the Bible is not going to bring, or banning a church is not going to bring your money back.
Matu?
Faith without action. Hata Biblia inasema, faith without action is dead. Kwa hivyo, kama unaamini utakuwa sonko, fanya kazi, ukienda kanisa ndio ukue sonko. Usiseme ni pastor peke yake alikuambia utakuwa sonko alafu kakosa kuwa sonko kwa sababu wewe si sonko sahi.
Basic protective measures as guided by the World Health Organization. Clean hands frequently with soap and clean water. Cover nose and mouth when coughing and sneezing with a tissue or flexed elbow. Avoid close contact 1 meter or 3 feet with anyone with cold or flu-like symptoms. If you have fever, cough and difficulty breathing, seek medical care early. Avoid raw or uncooked animal products. Help the world put an end to the spread of respiratory diseases by sharing this message with a friend. Message brought to you by Sour Herbal Family Bath Soap.
To achieve great things in life, you must do little things every day, like the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate. 1, wake up. 2, brush up. 3, start through your day with a fresh breath and strong tea. Start through your day with a fresh breath and strong tea. Do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate and give yourself a future to smell about.
Together stay free whatever ends. No, we can't stop. We wanna taste the feeling. Nothing can ever bring us down. Taste the feeling.
Living in a top house.
V, what? Are you okay? Just mind your business. Are you my mother? So utakuwa surprised nikiuliza swali.
Ask.
Where is this thing headed?
Vima zee, masaa imeenda. Unajua sasa ni jioni.
Kwa nini doll? I want to stay. Living in a top house.
This week, Egerton University take on art as they dig deep into the use of art to preserve our history.
Where exactly? Can you tell us like the exact location, because as in maps ni tricky. Okay.
Turn left.
Hapo left hapo. Hapa.
We shouldn't turn off the main road. Okay.